Hi, this is Mark McCauley. I'm Vice President of Government Affairs of the Nonprofit Alliance, and this is the monthly legislative update. Let me start on the postal front. And in terms of postal policy, we have quite a few moving parts. Last year, the House Postal Committee reported out postal reform legislation, which has several positive provisions, including moving retiree health care costs from the Postal Service and putting them in Medicare, where most retiree health care costs reside. However, the legislation does not include any specific language holding down future postal rate increases, and that is a deficiency. Nonetheless, we anticipate this legislation to come to the House floor in the first quarter of this year and then be considered by the Senate. Also on the postal front, there has been movement in Congress about possibly calling for a restudy, if you will, by the Postal Regulatory Commission of the study they performed 2 years ago, which resulted in allowing postal rate increases to increase substantially higher than the rate of inflation. A second study could be a positive benefit. There are no guarantees, but it could be a positive benefit in terms of providing new rules which may limit future postal rate increases. Let me now shift to tax policy. One of the main priorities of the Nonprofit Alliance, of course, is the universal charitable deduction. And for 2021, the universal charitable deduction was $300 for individuals and $600 for married couples filing jointly. This tax deduction was in effect for all of 2021. However, it did expire at year end. And we're hoping that it will be extended for 2022. It is actually tied with a number of other tax provisions which did expire at year end, December 31, 2021. And usually Congress bundles these so-called tax extenders into a single package. The universal charitable deduction will almost certainly be in that package. And then it adopts the package and makes the provision retroactive, and this is important, back to January 1 of 2022 so that the deduction would be in effect for the entire year. We'll be monitoring that closely. We anticipate Congress will probably consider that package of tax extenders later this year. Let me now switch to the Ira Charitable Rollover, where last year the House Ways and Means Committee increased the cap on IRA charitable rollovers from the current level of $100,000 by indexing it to the Consumer Price Index, in effect the rate of inflation. This legislation, again, was reported out by the Ways and Means Committee last year. We anticipate the full House to consider it a little later this year, and we're rather confident the Senate will adopt a similar package and thus increase the cap and base it on the rate of inflation. Finally, I cannot end a legislative update without talking about the very important need for national privacy legislation. In effect, we badly need one set of rules of the road dealing with privacy. We don't anticipate Congress to act on this issue this year, but the Nonprofit Alliance has been spending quite a bit of time talking to members of both the House and the Senate to lay a foundation for Congress to consider national privacy legislation next year in 2023. And this is and continues to be a very important priority of the Nonprofit Alliance. Thank you very much, and I hope 2022 is a good year for everyone.